Oh, hey, Nat One Kids, me, Mr. Summers, coming to you upstairs, not by the window this time, just living it up. I think there's like some sort of weird paintings my wife bought. Um, let's do this. We should start up on synovial joints. Um, so what makes a synovial joint a synovial joint is that it is physically encapsulated by something else. Connor Getchy is that fine looking EA, but he can't catch anything. So if you're looking at like synovial joints, like your knuckles, right? So I'm gonna hold the actual finger up so you can see it. Where the two bones meet, there's a physical capsule around it, and then a fluid in between that should reduce some kind of friction. That fluid happens to be called synovial fluid, thus synovial joints. Look, I moved down just so you can see my fresh flannel Friday on a Sunday. There should be articular cartilage in between each two, but that's what makes a synovial joint. The majority of the ones you know, like the movable things in your body, those are all synovial joints. If you want to see that in a picture, articular cartilage, capsule, and then like a fluid in between the two. That fluid, again, synovial fluid, keeps it so it's a little less friction, which is nice because they move a lot. Also, if it's big, there's some sort of bones between the two, right? So, like if you're looking at the synovial joint that is your knee, where the femur and the tibia meet, there are ligaments there. Anterior cruciate, posterior cruciate, lateral collateral ligament, medial collateral ligament. The weird like UCL one that's like new but part of the other PCL. Whatever. That's that's there. And a joint capsule we already went over. Synovial membrane is loose connective tissue that actually releases the synovial fluid out into the area, and that synovial fluid, like I said, is part of that. You might have heard people who've torn their meniscus. What that means is then it's a fibrocartilage disc in between two surfaces. In the example of your knee, there is like a pad in between the distal end of your femur, which kind of looks like this, You, ooh, ooh. And then the other one, like it fits on top like that. It's like weird. It's like a weird new gang sign that's made up. And then between those two, there's like a space, and there's like a fibrocartilage disc in between. And that's what happens. And then bursa, you might have heard the term like bursitis. Like Peyton Manning had really bad shoulder bursitis because he would never take time off from throwing a football. So his like, if you overuse something, what will happen is that you'll get like a fluid buildup to try to get your body to stop using that joint over and over again. Like wear and tear will cause that, and that's what bursitis is. We can go through. I think that is some stuff at the end. So let's go through. These are the main types of synovial joints. Ball and socket is exactly as it sounds. It is a ball, a socket, like this and this. You're like, yay, ball and socket. Shoulder and hip are the two big ball and socket ones. Again, end of something, and then like a coney depression you can fit that something into. Condyloids are these. So it's like two elliptical bones that fit together. It does have a little bit. Ball and socket has the most range of motion of all of them, right? You can abduct, adduct, you can flex, extend, you can rotate, circumvent. You can circumduct all these things with a ball and socket. Condyloid still gets you this and this like flex extend part, this like flex extend part, this little bit of side to side add ab motion, some rotation in here plus some circumduction. I should do this all the time because this is annoying. So it does have some more movement to it. Again, it is where your fingers meet your hand. I'll figure this out. Gliding is your wrist. Still it's like two flat surfaces like rubbing across each other. Some good motion out of that one. There you go. Those carpals. Hinge is like a convex and a concave one, the two fit together. Only goes in and out, right? So no matter how many times you try to make your elbow go something different than in and out, it only goes in and out. And if you want to change the direction it's going in and out, you move the proximal head of your humerus, but it's still just going in and out the whole time. Knee is the same thing. No matter how hard you try, your knee only goes in and out. If If you want to change the direction of the in and out, you change the direction of the femur, not the knee. There's a hinge. Pivots, there's a couple. This is a pivot. C1 or atlas, which is the first cervical vertebrae on the bottom of your skull, right? Allows your skull to rotate while it stays in the same spot. Right? When you do this, your spinal cord doesn't change position. Also, pivot happens to be the distal or the proximal end of your radius and ulna. Right, that is a pivot joint. They fit together right there. Sweet proximal end. And the last one, saddle, is your thumb, which is like two little like concave surfaces, and they just kind of fit together, and they can kind of glide over each other. It does have a little bit more range of motion than some other ones, but yeah. You might have heard the term sprain before. What that means is a stretch of a ligament beyond what it's supposed to. You sprain your ankle, probably getting crossed over in basketball, Wyatt Knox, Evan Nash. But those kind of things happen all the time. You can sprain any ligament. You cannot sprain a muscle. You can only sprain ligaments. There's a stretch beyond its capacity. Inversion, eversion, ankle sprains, AC, shoulder sprain, which is acromioclavicular, which is where your acromion process, that the bump part of your scapula meets your clavicle. Like here, you see that a lot. Like people fall on their side, it'll separate those two bones from each other. That's one. Oh, there's a video here if you want to watch that at some point in time. It's some lady spraining her ankle like 1,000 times. It's great. And there's an AC separation. Right, you see that again. Football, things that you lead with your shoulder with, if you hit the ground and your shoulder's the first thing to hit, these two bones can separate each other. So this is the clavicle here, and this is the acromion process on your scapula. I talked about bursitis, and there's a sweet picture in here too. Bursitis is, again, an inflammation. Any itis suffix means inflammation. So bursitis is an inflammation of a bursa sac. Which is that area surrounding the joint that like releases that synovial fluid. Really common in overuse in elbows, and if you like play tennis, like tennis elbow is a version of bursitis. Shoulders, repetitive stress injuries, right, where you're doing something over and over and over again. Throwing a football with one arm, throwing a baseball with your arm and your elbow, like those kind of things, you'll get to see a lot of bursitis. This is a really extreme case of it. Right, which also, like, where did all this hair go? Like hair and hair and hair, but just none around this elbow bone. Right, obviously your elbow doesn't look like that. But if repetitive stress use can be, this can lead to an inflammation. The idea or goal behind it is to try to get you to stop using it, so that your body can then help with the wear and tear on the joint. That's the point. Arthritis is the same general concept. Arth means any sort of spot where two bones meet. And itis obviously still means inflammation. So arthritis means that you're having any inflammation in any joint in your body. Just a blanket term for that. And there could be a couple different versions. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disorder, which means that your body is actually doesn't recognize the cells that make up your synovial joint as part of you, and then starts to attack it with white blood cells as if it would like the flu or any other thing that invades your body, and then that can lead to some serious things. You have to take some anti-rejection medicine, some big-time anti-inflammatories to be able to get past rheumatoid arthritis. And this picture, very extreme case of rheumatoid arthritis, but they're losing the ability to function as a joint, right? You keep losing that range of motion. You start to have build up in this area, and you're going to lose function of this. You could tell by this person, this is an old person's hand, or someone who's never used lotion before, right? But that's rheumatoid arthritis. Regular osteoarthritis is like what your Nana has. My dad had bad arthritis in his knee because he's old, and so he had to get his knee replaced. It's just a degenerate, you have years of wear and tear on something leads to then you not having function of that anymore, right? My mom had her knee replaced too because she's old, and it was just her meniscus was gone. She was just having bones living on bones. There was no articular cartilage. That's some osteoarthritis. That hurts because you're old. Did I say old enough? Because I feel like I've said old. Hey, look, guys, 10 minutes. I did it. This lecture's no like 47, but you ain't gonna watch that. That's gross. I miss you. Don't do drugs.